I am going to tell you all about how we kept the party going at our wedding and hopefully give you some ideas on how to get the party starters at yours. The one thing that I made sure that we did when we were wedding planning was I really wanted to invest in guest experience. So I know your wedding is your day and all of this, and it is, but you also want the people attending to be having a good time just as much as you are. So we made sure that was at the absolute forefront of everything we looked at, everything we booked, and really made it a priority. So the key to getting your party started is to start it early on and to make sure that your guests feel like they are part of this experience, but not just on their own together. So we had quite a lot of people coming that had never met people before, and we wanted to make sure that those people felt included from the very beginning. What I'll do is I'll just start from the very beginning of the day and kind of talk you through each little sort of thing we did right up until the end of the evening, into the night and into the next day, because our party was still going at about 4 o'clock in the morning on the Friday after the wedding, before the ceremony, as guests were arriving. So we told our guests on the invitation to arrive. This makeup is such a trust the process, by the way. Look at the actual kip of me. So as guests were arriving, we had a bagpiper playing live music, and he was gorge. He was unreal. So we had him playing, so guests were listening to live music immediately from the get-go. And we also had a toastmaster, shout out to you, Kevin, who was unbelievable, by the way. So we had a toastmaster who was there to guide our guests and tell them where they needed to be and where they could mingle. So guests arrived 45 minutes before they needed to be seated, and our toastmaster was there from the beginning. He was there on arrival, telling people where they could go, showing them in the direction of the bar, of the courtyards. We had like an outdoor seating space where guests could sit and drink, so no one was showing up and not knowing what to do or not knowing where to go, which I think just helps alleviate some anxiety, especially if guests are coming by themselves. One guest was shown to their seats. We had like little wedding newspapers on them, which was so cute, and in our wedding newspapers we had our thanks, so to all our vendors and all the people who helped us out with wedding signs, with stationery, low key. But the people who maybe weren't as involved in the wedding plan, and we also wanted to find a way to like get them involved as well. We had on the back of our newspapers guest awards, and when we were choosing these guest awards, we tried to choose people that probably wouldn't have had any other like hand in the wedding, so people who weren't speaking or people who didn't know many people. So we chose people based on that, like maybe it could help, I don't know, sort of bring more people together, start more conversations, the people who were in the guest awards. But they were silly awards, like first one to spill a drink, or we had one that was most likely to be invited to another wedding, which I thought was so cute. So we had names in there during our ceremony. So because me and Craig were already legally married before our wedding, we got legally married in March in Abu Dhabi. We didn't have to do like a traditional ceremony, so we did the complete opposite of a traditional ceremony to try and get people involved in the ceremony. We had 4 people speak. So we had Craig's mum speak, my cousin Abby, and we had 2 of our close friends from Dubai. It was more like a reading, so it was more to like give our love story. So they didn't do a speech, they actually spoke from their point of view of our love story, because they were the people closest to us that saw our relationship like develop from early stages. So we chose those people really carefully. And then we also had another section in the ceremony which was stolen from another wedding that we had seen last year. Shout out Caitlin and Lindsay. We chose 7 people to do like a blessing shot with us in the ceremony. So we chose 7 people who had qualities that we wanted to kind of carry through our relationship, and they were called up to the front and they did a shot with us. They did apple sours shot. So it was things like we chose someone for humour, we chose someone for strength, we chose someone for courage, things like that. And that was kind of our blessing from those people, which was just so cute. Once our ceremony was finished, finished, now this is where the fun part starts. Once our ceremony was finished, people started to make their way over to the drinks reception, which was luckily outside. We had a saxophonist play, Alistair Grant in Liverpool. He was our saxophonist and he was absolutely incredible. He was playing very like Ibiza style tunes, Ibiza style songs. He was absolutely amazing and just got the vibes going from the beginning, and the weather was gorgeous. We were all sat outside. He was great. So he was our live music from the beginning of the day for the drinks reception. But also in our drinks reception, we started something called the peg game. Now, this is something that we have been doing in Dubai on like boat parties and stuff. Like this is a regular thing for like us and our families and our friends. Like this is something that we bring on nights out, or we were doing it at my hen party. If you watch the hen vlog, go and check it out. We played the peg game there. Basically, the aim of the game is you need to try and peg somebody with an actual clothespin without them noticing. And whenever we've played it, it's been such a fun way to like get people chatting to each other and chatting to people that they don't know. Like when I've had boat parties and stuff in Dubai for like my birthday and stuff, it's just got people like kind of coming out of their shell and chatting to people, because as soon as someone notices, like you turn around and you're like, oh my god, like it's so much fun. So our good friend Amanda, Craig's godmother, she made actual personalized pegs, spray painted them white and put our like names and dates of the wedding on there, which was so cute. We absolutely love them and the guests love them, and it got people mingling straight away. Some people took it so seriously and some people didn't have a clue what was going on, but by the end of the night everyone was doing it. This peg game continued. That was like, it was all day, all night. People were trying to like peg the saxophonist. People were trying to peg like the staff. It was honestly insane. People took it so seriously and it just brought such a fun vibe to the day. Once the drinks reception was finished, everyone moved into our wedding breakfast, which is your sit down meal for the day, and they were moved by our toastmaster. So our toastmaster moved them and told everyone where to go, directed them. Nobody was questioning like, where am I supposed to go? And then once people sat down at the tables, there were little personalised letters for absolutely everyone. Every single guest at our wedding got a personalised letter that was really like tailored to them and our relationship with that guest. Honestly, we were so proud of them and it took us so long to do, but it was absolutely worth every second we spent doing them. So we had those on the tables, and the kind of goal of that was not just to thank everyone for being there, but also to get people talking. Like, I had a content creator, and looking back on some of the videos now, she was in the room as people were entering, taking videos, and all the videos that I've seen of people reading their letters, people are like turning to the person next to them and telling them like, oh, we did this on this night out, or we did this on this holiday, or like, this is such a fun memory that we had. And people were talking about the memories that were in the letters. Like, it just went so perfect. Because also something that we did that would honestly make me want to throw up if I was a guest at a wedding that did this, but it very luckily worked. We mixed everyone. We didn't sit like people based on their families. So what we did was we grouped everyone into 2s and 3s. So everyone was sat with at least one person that they knew or were close with, and we mixed all the tables, and we had tables of up to 12 people. So everyone was sat with someone new. Now, I feel like this would only work with a very specific group of people. Now, we're very lucky, we know very chatty people and very social people. However, this may not work at every wedding, but basically we mixed everyone up because when it gets to the evening at weddings, I feel like sometimes people end up just staying within the family or end up dancing with the people that they know. So like if one person from a table is up dancing, the whole table is up dancing. When it came to the evening, people could dance with their immediate families or with the people that they came with. But then they can also turn and dance with the person that they just met on the table for their wedding breakfast. The letters really helped people get chatting and conversing with each other, which was so nice. But that wasn't the only thing that was on the tables. on the tables, we had bingo cards. Now, not bingo cards like bingo or like numbers, not numbers. Each table had a card of 9 challenges, and it was almost like a game. So each table had a different set of challenges, but they were silly things. Now, this is something that we do on like holidays. Like when I go on a girls' holiday, we make a bingo card, and it's more things like things that you think are going to happen, and as those things happen, you tick them off. Or sometimes you can do it like the way we did it for the wedding. You can say, right, these are things that you need to do. So like I went to Magaluf last year with the girls, and my bingo card was like something silly like get a selfie with a bouncer. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So each table had a bingo card, and some of them were so silly. Some tables had make a human pyramid. Some tables had make a human tunnel. Some tables had things like swap seats with an entire other table. So like everyone on the table had to get up and swap seats with another table. Those ones were not on the tables with dietary requirements, just an FYI. This got some people who were naturally quite quiet. So like my brothers are quite quiet, and they were getting really into it. So that just kept the vibes going. But it was just so funny because one of the things was start a countdown to nothing. Like the most silly of things, start a countdown to nothing. And I think maybe 2 or 3 tables had that on their bingo cards. It was just so funny because one table on one side of the room would start going 10, 9, 8, 7. And then literally like 5 minutes later, another table on the other side of the room would start it. I broke the bustle of my dress, getting on the top of a human pyramid. It was just insane. My Toastmaster was also still here at this point, and we had a little surprise for our guests at the end of dessert. So I had asked him to ask my guests to stay seated after they had had their dessert. We had hired singing waiters, which was unbelievable. I actually think the singing waiters was my favourite part of the day, to be honest. So I knew who these singing waiters were. They were stuck in. They were absolutely stuck in. They were collecting glasses. They were bringing the food to the table. They were on it. Like no one else clocked it other than me and anyone else that knew that they were coming. Craig didn't even know. I'd asked my wedding coordinator beforehand. I was like, right, are they here? Who are they? And she told me which ones they were, and singing waiters started, and it was the whole dramatic fall over. Throw the cutlery on the floor, make this big scene, and anyway, got up straight into Robbie Williams. It was fantastic. Highly recommend getting singing waiters because it brought the vibes. And I think they sang 8 songs, but like we're giving the microphone to us. People were begging them. But the fella was getting so into it. He was on the microphone like, right, I appreciate I've been pegged. Like they were just another level. It got everyone up. There wasn't an empty chair in the room. Every single person was stood up dancing. It was amazing. So that was our wedding breakfast. So the vibes were quite high from then, to be honest. Definitely set the tone for the rest of the day. Once wedding breakfast was finished, we kind of had like an hour to chill, have a few drinks. People went back to the residence bar, had a drink. Me and Craig went off to go and get some photos, which was so difficult, by the way. I was rotten at this point. Bless my photographers and my content creator. Honestly, I was so difficult in the evening. When we went back into the room for the reception, went in, did our first dance. We did it to Dancing Queen by ABBA, but it was like a violin cover, which was gorgeous. We just found it on YouTube. And we had a band called Electric Flare, which were fantastic, by the way. Such a vibe. And we also had a DJ. So while the band weren't playing, our DJ would sort the songs out. You can see why these people are professionals. They kept the party going all night, literally all night. It was fantastic. I even sang a bit of Wicked, did a karaoke. Everyone was absolutely made up. Everyone had made new friends. So when it came to the evening and the night was like starting to finish, we had a venue that a bar. So they opened the residence bar at midnight. So once the like reception was finished, we all kind of moved into the residence bar, basically just carried on the party. I'm so sorry to everyone that was in that hotel that was not part of the wedding party, because we were loud. So we all moved to the residence bar at midnight, and it was just so lovely to see how many people were just sat with someone new that they'd met that day. Everyone was just chatting away to everyone, and I got so many messages the day after about the letters. I got so many messages about like how welcomed they felt. It was just so nice. Like we honestly, me and Craig are so lucky. We have got such a gorgeous community of people around us. And all of these things did work. We did also have a photo booth, and it was nice for us to see what everyone was getting up to and who people were mingling with as well. So we booked a photo booth with Blooming Boots Cheshire. They do this package where it prints out 2 prints, basically. Printed out one for the guests to keep and one to go in a photo book, like a guest book, and they had space to write a little message as well, which was so cute. And it was so like, that's such a nice keepsake for us. It also meant that a guest book wasn't just lying around and being forgotten about as well. I just think if you're planning a wedding, please, please, please just invest in your guest experience as well. Everything that we did is things that we would do usually. The bingo cards we do all the time. The peg game we do all the time. Like, these are things that we find fun, are ways that we have made new connections with other people in the past, and it absolutely worked for our wedding, and everyone got on. We had such a great time. It was such a laugh. So if you liked any of these ideas, do let me know. And also, feel free to steal them for your own wedding or your own parties. I think we're going to be doing most of these for Craig's 30th next year as well. We had such a ball. So we will probably be continuing these into future parties. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. So, bye-bye.